So let's take a look at what sequence of events are. The author of a biography often presents information in sequence or in the order in which events happened in the person's life. Telling events in time order helps the reader understand how one event leads to another. Signal words and phrases such as in 1917, later, and today are clues the author uses to help you understand the sequence of events. Okay, so sequence, remember, is in order. So what happened first, second, third, and so forth. Okay, so we are going to look at this passage, and then we're going to think about what can go in the very first box. Growing in place. Even as a child, Lucy was interested in plants. She often joined her older sister Annette and their parents on energetic walks through the nearby woods. Lucy enjoyed all the plants and wildflowers. Some seemed to shout at her with their wild colors. Others hid behind rocks and logs. Lucy asked her mother how to tell all the plants apart. Lucy's mother taught her to develop her powers of observation. She pointed out the number and shape of leaves on a stem. Lucy kept a record of their observations. She also learned to draw what she saw. Then she could compare and contrast all sorts of plants. Lucy and her mother gathered specimens for their herbarium, a collection of dried plants. They preserved leaves and flowers between sheets of paper. Lucy became more and more interested in botany, the study of plants. In high school, she started collecting and drying plants for her own herbarium. She continued adding plants all her life. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to pause and look back. What's the first thing? What's the very first thing? And if you need to bring up your story, go ahead and do that, fifth grade. Okay, so even as a child, okay, that is our clue right there. So she's interested in plants. That's the very first thing we should put in there. Okay? Now I want you to pause again. Think about what would go in our second box. In high school. So it talks about what's next. So we started with a young child and now we're going to high school. So she started collecting and drying plants for her own herbarium. All right, again, pause and think about what would go in our third one. Okay, so all her life. She continued adding plants all her life, okay? So that would be the next one. Okay, so now what I want you guys to do is go to the page that talks about sequence of events in your shared read. Go to the Your Turn part, and it's going to say, reread the passage from Growing in Place. Highlight words that signal important events showing Lucy's work as a scientist. List the events in your graphic organizer. Then keep working on your to-do list, okay? So go to the branching out part, and you're going to fill out your graphic organizer from this section. It's just the branching out part, fifth grade. Okay, so what I want you to do is watch all of your videos in Kickstand, read all of the directions, and then go check your to-do list. Have a great day, guys.